we're going to be talking with both of these guests here shortly. How's that looking, Steph? You good?
It says you're now live. I think what happened before was it said it was a test broadcast for some reason. I don't know why, and it should be working now. How does it sound on your end?
We good, Joel?
We're going to take a look here, yeah.
All right. It's a good time for a break. Jeff from Erie Ale Works is coming into the studio, so we have a minute here. He's going to get seated. Jeff, you will need the headphones to be able to hear Steph ask you questions. We were just talking a little bit about the weekend coming up at Erie Ale Works, where Brad and Smoke and Fire Barbecue will be there. So we're looking for a good weekend. You have a lot going on this weekend, which we'll get to. The WQLN folks.
Yeah. Good morning. Sorry I'm late.
Oh, that's all right.
Oh, that's fine. Good morning.
The old trash can going down the road thing.
You had the same experience?
No. It was just the school bus was a little late. No worries. It's all good.
They were probably dodging garbage.
Yeah,
cans.
that's fine.
All right. So we were going to go with Brad, and because Jeff is here now, we're going to go with you first. But before we do that, can you, Steph, give us a little preview of Rural Entrepreneur Week that we have coming up down in Corey?
Yes, absolutely. We have Rural Entrepreneur Week kicking off May 20th. And to start off, just to let you know, all of these are free. That is an awesome experience. It's just free to attend any of these, so make sure you sign up for them. To kick off Rural Entrepreneur Week by attending our networking mixer with other local entrepreneurs and startups at Before the Barrel Distillery. That will be on Monday, once again, May 20th, and that will be from 4:30 p.m. to 6:30 p.m. And you'll get to hear from local entrepreneurs Bernie Bloor with Before the Barrel Distillery and Betsy Grinder with Your Daily Serving as they share their entrepreneurial journeys. Participation will include a two-drink tickets, 21 and older, of course, with a cash bar and catering by Your Daily Serving. And to register for any or all 5 of these free events, all you need to do is visit the Corey Hyatt website at www.coreyhyatt.org or give us a call at 814-664-9405. Heading on to that Tuesday, we will have a motivational look at starting your own business. We will have CEO Russian Motivation, Greg Russian. We had him on the show last week. He'll speak on overcoming obstacles and starting your own business during a lunch and learn at the Corey Hyatt. Lunch will be provided by your local Corey business, Twisted Sisters, that day. And then heading on to Wednesday, we had a change up for Wednesday, and we're very excited to have RJ Messenger come in and with the title of this will be Making Mistakes and Learning from Them, which I'm doing constantly all the time.
We're doing now.
We're doing now. I mean, we're just, we have mistakes, then we fix it, and then that's how you learn, So make sure you come lunch and learn and meet RJ Messenger. He's a local Erie entrepreneur who has relentlessly pursued success through difficult times, and he'll tell a story about how he's not allowed failure or mistakes to define him. And that will be a good lunch and learn to attend. Recognizing and learning from my mistakes, he says, has been pivotal in his journey in personal growth, despite the tendency for others to judge based on past missteps. That he's come to look at these moments as invaluable lessons. Each stumble, no matter how small, has contributed to his resilience and wisdom. So make sure you come on out. That will be on Wednesday. That will be from 12 to 1 at the Corey Hyatt. And then on Thursday, we have Food for Thought. Come lunch and learn. You get to meet with Betsy Grinder again, with founder of Your Daily Servings. From humble beginnings and navigating the COVID lockdown and expanding her own brick and mortar, Betsy shares her entrepreneurial path, and lunch will be provided by Your Daily Serving. And then
the big day, Friday.
The big day, Friday, will be the road to startup success, and you'll get to take a quiz to follow the right roadmap, meeting and talking to members of the entrepreneurial ecosystem to help you along your journey. And the finale to the Rural Entrepreneur Week will be held at the Relevant Church, and that'll be from 11 a.m. to 2. Lunch that day will be provided by Sanders Market. And once again, you can register for all or any or all 5 of these events, and they are free. Once again, all free at the Corey Hyatt. So make sure you sign up for all those. We are very excited for those.
So anyone thinking of starting a business or owning a business that wants to expand, this is for you. This is for you to come and see, completely and totally free. So we're excited at the Corey High Ed to do that. So, Steph, I want to welcome to the show Jeff McCullough. Like I said, owner. What are all the things you do there, Jeff?
Good. Boy, a lot. So
you had floor sweeper on your profile on the website.
Yeah, we work in beer, so humor is part of it. If we're not having a good time, we're doing it wrong. Between my business partner Steve Anthony and myself, for the longest time, it was just the Steve and Jeff show. We brewed the beer, we ran the retail hours during like taproom time. We did it all ourselves, and now we're at a point where we've got people. We call them the A team. We have the best brewery service staff in town, we'd say, and we just make beer, sell it, and just have a community presence. Really. You want me to keep going? Want me to start at the beginning?
Steph has some questions that kind of get the backstory and everything. So.
All right, hit me, Steph.
Yeah. Oh, that's all right. I'll hit you. Yeah. Can you tell us the story, I guess, of Erie Ale Works, and how did this idea come to be?
Yeah, it's somewhat common. So I was a home brewer. Steve was also a home brewer, and we got a job together at the Erie Times News, and we learned we were home brewing separately. So why not just get it together and do it together? It'd be a lot easier. We can co-purchase ingredients and just hang out, really. And then at the time, there was a local homebrew club called Hazard. It stood for Homebrewing and Zymergy Alcohol Research Division. And Zymergy is the study of yeast, how yeast interacts with everything. So we started going to these homebrew club meetings, which then involved some commercial brewers like Jason Lavery, Jason Lynch at the time. I got to know those guys pretty well. Then I blindly volunteered to brew beer with Jason and Jason when they were brewing beer out of the Brewery Union Station. So this where we tie into the whole later here in a minute. So I showed up. It's funny, I showed up and there's the Amtrak station right there, and it was early on a Sunday, and I had no concept of what time trains come and went. So this dude starts walking toward me in the parking lot. I'm like, hey, figuring nobody else would be down in that part of town at 8 o'clock in the morning on Sunday. Hi, I'm Jeff. And he's like, hi, I'm Tom. Or whatever his name was. And he said, what can I do for you? I'm like, well, I'm here to brew some beer. He's like, what? Cool. Where? And he was on his way. So Jason was inside the Brewery Union Station. So they ran an alternating proprietorship license there. So they were basically nomad brewers using Chris Sirianni's equipment. They went and did it there, and then they paid him a little bit of rent. Then they were able to wholesale their beer out of somebody else's location. The brewing industry is very unique in that sense. You can effectively nomad brew your way to success. If you ever do homework on like the startup of Boston Beer Company and Jim Cook, they didn't have a physical brewery for almost 10 years because it was a sales company first. He said, why would we invest all these millions of dollars in equipment when we don't know if it's going to work or not? So I don't know if you can do that anymore, but it's certainly one model to go after. So I started brewing with those guys, and then, this is really fun. This is so much more fun than working for my corporate job. Let's see if we can do this. And then before we know it, Steve and I have got a business plan going. Loans are taken out. And then we opened up in September of 2014 with one beer. It was called, get this, American Pale Ale is what we called it, which is the style name. We didn't know anything about like our identity, and we didn't know what our branding was going to be aside from a logo. So we started with that, and then we didn't even have taps. We didn't even have faucets. We had everything was in a keg. We were rolling off of a mobile jockey box that we were borrowing from Erie Beer. It was hilarious. we had no idea what we were doing. And then fast forward to end of October 2019, we take a big loan out from a local bank to expand, get a proper brewing system, remodel the whole place, separate tap room from production so we can do production activities while serving customers. And then I joke with people that if you're going to dump $500,000 into your company, make sure you check the pandemic schedule to see it, make sure one's not on the radar.
That leads to the next question.
Yeah, we installed the tanks arrived. All the new tanks arrived because there's a 16-week lead time, of course. So you buy them, and then you start paying on the loan, and then the equipment actually shows up, and then the world goes to hell, and then we're stuck with all this stuff that we have to like plug in, and which was kind of a nice thing. We had some time to play with stuff and test things out. But so this fast forward again, we're done with COVID allegedly, right? And then now we're flying high, we're doing well. 10-year anniversary is coming up in September, so we've built this really nice community. We've got cool stuff going on. We have a regular customer base that likes us. We killed it on the Eclipse Day, man. I heard you talking about that on the radio, and what a great thing also, by the way. It was like, aside from childbirth, it was probably the coolest thing I've ever seen in my entire life.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it was nuts. I'd like to do that again sometime. If we can arrange one of those to do that in the area.
A few years down the line.
Visit Erie did a great job. Everything was I think as it needed to be. I don't know. I was still waiting for pandemonium. Just a little pandemonium would have been great, but I don't know if they were overestimating how many people were going to show up, but just because nobody knows also. Anyway, so the Brewery Union Station, back to that, is like the epicenter for the Erie craft beer scene. So a million years ago, Erie Brewing Company was in there as Hopper's Brew Pub. That's
Right.
30-ish years ago, I think. Then they left. They built their space down on West 12th Street, 12th and like Weschler-ish. Then they've since moved, of course, to Knowledge Park and then on the west side here in Erie. Then the Brewery Union Station opens up as a restaurant brew pub. Jason Lavery bumps in there as an alternating proprietorship. That's brewery number 3 in that space. I hang out with them, start brewery number 4, and then there was going to be another brewery coming out of it. So that's like the home base for Erie craft beer is 140. What is it? 145 West 11th Street. 123 West 14th.
Yeah.
They are. That's a great spot. It's got history. There's ghosts. There's a train rolls by every so often, and you get to see what it was like pre-war and post-war. It's really great spot.
Haunted history tours. The ghosts. Yeah, that's big fun.
Yep.
Yeah.
I might be rambling on.
No, it's
okay.
fine. One of the great parts about the craft beer scene in Erie is that community, that sense of community. I love going to all of the breweries here. And just talking with everybody. And, we come to you, different ones. Jason down the street.
Yep.
Chris Sirianni's a great guy at the brewery. And,
we love that. I talk to Jason and Chris probably at least once or twice a week. Chris probably more than Jason because he's my favorite.
Yeah.
Don't.
So
I don't know if Jason's listening. He's probably not. That's fine.
So we talk about, and I got to know you prior to a lot of this. Our girls were in Girl Scouts together, and I can remember a story that you told. And the next question, and you talked a little bit. COVID was obviously one of those inflection points for a lot of people when things didn't go perfectly right. But we like to talk about, because entrepreneurs in the back of their mind are always thinking, oh, maybe I shouldn't do this. What could happen? There are a few things that you've experienced over time. I know you talked about a few years back where you had an issue with something on the roof.
Yeah. That just happened again, too. So if you are going to enter into any business, you have to understand that things are going to go wrong. Like, things are not going to be in your control the entire time, and you have to learn how to deal with that. We have a very temperature-sensitive product. So we make a beer at a certain temperature. It gets put into a tank at a certain temperature. It has to ferment at a certain temperature. And then as the process goes, temperature control is critical through the entire process, even storage afterwards. We ran into temperature control issues twice. One was in 2017, when we had that giant snowstorm right around Christmas time. We got 6 feet of snow in like a day and a half. That took our chiller on the roof, which screwed us pretty hard. We had to dump a bunch of beer, and if you remember correctly, it all melted. It warmed up real quick. So that was the insurance companies were going nuts because I'm sure they had issues with the massive amount of snowfall and then flooding I know like roofs were caving in all over the place. It was pandemonium. Then a little while ago we had a different issue but very similar outcome. Product was impacted by temperature. Long story short, we're through it. We're good. We're getting popped back up. Everything's fine. But dude, it was stressful. Very, very stressful. We spent all this time and energy and effort and planning to make this product, and to see it go right down the drain before it even leaves the building is just makes you want to cry a little bit, especially because it's beer. It's
Right,
fun.
right.
It's like it's got fun built into it already.
To see all that go down the drain, that's
Yeah,
horrible.
it's fine. It's
It's part of the business.
You
right?
just have to
Yeah.
let things roll off your back and then figure it out from there.
Interestingly,
Yeah.
Jeff and Steph, I'll tell you this: COVID changed a lot of things for a lot of people. That is where I started my homebrew journey. I bought all the stuff because I was bored. I got fired.
Yeah, sure.
So I'm at home collecting the big paychecks that he gave us during the pandemic, and I thought, you know what, I'm going to learn how to do this. So I bought some books, started the whole process, and just to speed the story up, I did have one batch that I had to dump.
Yeah.
We got an infection, and it tasted terrible. Sometimes infections are happy accidents in the brewing world. It can happen. You get
Yeah.
a sour. It tastes okay. You drink it. It's all right. It won't kill you. But mine was awful. It was terrible, and it was like all that grain, all that time, down the drain.
Yep. You might as well just light your dollar bills on fire because it's way more entertaining to watch.
Yeah. So there's this common belief that if you make your own beer, you're saving money. That is not true.
Not anymore. No way. You can go to any, Get Go or Country Fair and get a 6-pack of take your pick. New Trail is available, all those places. Sierra Nevada, probably the gold standard for craft beer now in my book. And it's inexpensive relatively, and they come in really large cans too if you need quantity, if that's your game.
So Steph, kind of,
Yes.
we're looking forward to this weekend with our friends over at WQLN and their craft beer festival. Can we kind of touch on that a little bit?
Yeah. Can you talk just a little bit about the craft beer community in Erie, Jeff?
Yeah. So, let me back up just a hair. Back to the weekend.
Oh yeah, sorry. I
No,
didn't
you're
think
good.
of that.
We've been hosting Brad and Company all throughout the winter indoors, and they've been doing a great job. They're actually not here tonight. They're not with us tonight. That's a scheduling error on my part. So they'll be here Saturday and Sunday. For those that are looking for more beer before or after your beer fest experience, it's always good to have beer before you have beer. So Brad, they have a really good menu. Is that the menu right there?
Yeah.
Tacos, quesadillas. Brad is flexing his taco muscles recently with us, and people really, really, really enjoy it. So I wanted to get that off the list before we got too far into it. So WQLN has hosted. Boy, I don't know how long it's been going. I have the website here on my phone. It's been going. The WQLN Erie Craft Beer Fest, they call it now. Used to be called the Microbrew Fest.
Yeah.
It's one of our favorite events to go to. My friend Joycelyn is on the planning committee for it, and if you've seen the TV ad, she wanted to stick me right in the middle of it, so I'm laughing and pointing at the people. I think there's 18 or 19 local breweries at this gig this year. It starts at 4 at the Brewing Station. Tickets are available at eriebeerfest.com. Scratch the craft in the middle. eriebeerfest.com. It's our chance to get around and hang out with our friends and see people that we haven't seen in a while within the industry, and share beer with people that may not know us very much. Like I said, I talk to Jason and Chris frequently. This is one of those gigs, so it's really a good time. There's beer in the center of the city, a good place for you to hang out with some friends and just go have a good time.
Well, we got about a minute before we go to the news break at the bottom of the hour. Jeff, thank you for talking about
man.
Erie Ale Works. Can you hang out when we talk about Smoke and Fire Barbecue with
Yeah,
Jeff?
do you want to hear some jokes later?
Yeah,
Yes.
we're big on
Okay.
jokes. We're
Okay,
big on
yeah, I
jokes.
can do that.
So we'll come back here after the news break, and we'll talk a little bit more with Jeff McCullough from Erie Ale Works and Brad Gore from Smoke and Fire Barbecue. Welcome back to Community Chronicles Radio, brought to you weekly by the Corey Higher Education Council, promoting lifelong learning to empower individuals, produce a competitive workforce, and enhance the community's quality of life. So our guest this half hour is Brad Gore, owner of Smoke and Fire Barbecue. Brad will be bringing the food truck to Erie Ale Works this weekend, not tonight, Saturday, Sunday. So if you're interested, stop out on Saturday or Sunday. So you can also enjoy some of the great beers that Jeff mentioned and what he talked about earlier, and get to know both guys. So welcome to the show, Brad.
Thanks for having me.
Yes, welcome, Brad.
Hey, how you doing?
Good. How are you doing?
I'm doing great.
I guess I'll start off with some questions for you right off the bat. How did you come up with the idea for the Smoke and Fire Barbecue?
Well, the idea just came upon from backyard cooking, watching my dad barbecue things and growing up. So all my friends, I would cook for them, my family, and they were like, yeah, I should probably take this to the next level. And, we did some designing from a local artist and came up with the logo, and then boom, we were off and running.
Awesome. Can you talk a little bit about the community of the Erie food trucks?
Yeah, it's a great community. We have a page, a Food Truck Alliance page, for the local food trucks. We all support each other. Allison Green, she runs the page. She does a great job with that, promoting food trucks, letting us know who's inquiring about different events. And also Jeff down at Erie Ale, he's a good player in the food truck scene. Allows a lot of people to come down there and set up shop outside of his building.
That's awesome.
That's one of the great. Sorry, Steph.
Go ahead.
In the Erie community, one of the things that impresses me most is just the camaraderie that happens in each of these spaces. You would think, okay, so I'm operating a food truck, and these other folks are operating a food truck. We're in competition. Same with the breweries, but it just doesn't have that feel.
No, it's really not like that. Because I still work a full-time job, so I got plenty of food truck friends that if a date comes by me, I'm not available to, I'll reach out to different food truckers and be like, hey, this is a good opportunity. Right. I mean, if you can make it. If not, then we'll put it in the like I mentioned before, the alliance with the date, and then what the alliance is just pretty much every food truck in Erie, and we communicate that way for different events and things like that. Like I said, Allison, she does a good job at running that and putting that together for us. It makes our lives a lot easier.
So that's how you see a food truck at each event that you go to. Okay, oh man, you go to First Fridays down in Corey, there's a couple of food trucks. That's working through that system.
Correct.
That's great. That's really interesting.
What can people expect when they order from your truck?
They can expect a little bit of everything. Like our depending, we cater to where we go. The crowd, we go to. I actually, besides my grand opening, our first event was at Erie Ale, just like a pop-up event. Jeff, I reached out to Jeff, introducing myself because we were new on the scene last year, and he called me back and said he had a cancellation. So I said, yeah, we'll fill that spot in, and came down to Erie Ale. So, I know what the crowd likes down there. So, like I said, really depending on where we go is the type of menus we form. But from everything from barbecue, we do a lot. We do pulled pork, brisket. Our smoked wings are a fan favorite. Or we can just keep it simple like handhelds and just run quesadillas, street tacos, and rice bowls. So, our menu is pretty flexible, customizable, and like I said, depending on where we pop up to is going to decide what kind of menu we're going to run.
Starting to make me hungry. That sounds good for breakfast already.
Me too.
Man, I need a food truck down here in Corey.
Absolutely. We actually will be at Corey at the end of the month. We're doing a benefit. So we'll be at the VFW Corey the 27th of April. So if you're in the area and you're free that day, it's for a good cause.
Yeah,
a young
I'll have
lady
to go check it out.
Got diagnosed with bone cancer, so we're going to go down there and sell some chicken dinners for them, and hopefully, raise a lot of money for the family.
Yeah, that sounds like a good thing. Absolutely. Heading to my next question, how did you get to know Jeff from Erie Ale Works?
Well, like I said, I'm new to the scene, the food truck scene, and I was just emailing different, business owners that I found that hosted food trucks, and I emailed him the one day, and he got back to me in less than 10 hours saying, "Hey, someone canceled. Can you fill it?"
Oh,
and
that's
not really knowing if I could. I was like, "Yeah, we can do that." So. Yeah, so I mean, ever since that day, which was about a year ago, actually, today, or April last year,
it was maybe. Yep, I was in Virginia. Remember?
Yeah, you were.
I wasn't even here.
Yep,
I was out of town at my brother's house.
Yeah, so ever since that day, it's pretty much been a second home to us. His customers, I feel like are our customers now. I know what they like. I know what they want. Some people come in with their own dishes and be like, "Hey, just fill it up for me." And so it's pretty cool. His customers are awesome, and we love going there, and we'll continue to do so.
That's the entrepreneurial spirit that well, I can fill it. I'll do it. But you weren't quite sure, and that is what it takes, I think, when you're starting a business or thinking about getting.
Yeah, you had to. I mean, I had to say yes to everything
right.
At that point, and I didn't want to let the man down, and I can't do it, but we did it, and I think it was the right choice.
So, how can people, if they want to get in contact with you, say they want to have a food truck for an event or something they've got coming up? How do they find your contact information or get a hold of you to do that?
Yeah, so we're on Facebook, Instagram, all under Smoke and Fire. It's all linked to emails. I mean, you can message me on Messenger, either one, Facebook or Instagram. But preferably, if you're you're looking for an event, email is probably the way to go. Like I said, that's on there, but it's all linked onto the Smoke and Fire page, along with my number. So if you need to get a hold of me, if you really need to get a hold of me, my number's on there. Or you can just ask Jeff for my number if you need it.
Right.
Okay.
So you talked about maybe telling some jokes or some stories and different things that have happened along the way. I told my fiance Christy that I was going to talk a little bit about her today, and the reason I'm doing that is because we have known each other for many, many years. We knew each other from way back, and it feels like a different life. But when we reconnected, probably 6-7 years ago now, it was through a dating site, and she had posted on there that she was looking for friends to explore different craft breweries. She was a big fan of craft brewing. At the time, I was not a pale ale person. I didn't like them, but I've evolved. I do now. But my response when I reached out to her to see, hey, you know what? I had been recently divorced. I just needed somebody to hang out with every once in a while, kind of in the same space. Reached out to her and I said, "What's your favorite type of craft beer? I hope it's not pale ale." She said, "Nope, it's stouts, porters." And I said, "Oh, okay, we'll get along fine." So all these years later, she is my fiance, and that friendship developed over the love of craft beer. So it's a great community. So it started there, and we've been probably we talk about this all the time. How many craft breweries have we been to over the years in different cities, different towns? We try to check them all out. But as we walk through that, recently, Brad, you were at Erie Ale Works. I came down and had the Reuben, which you were serving at the time. It was fantastic.
Thank you.
Christy had found your information, and we're having this is my second wedding, so it's going to look a little bit different. Christy didn't want a big wedding. We're looking at it a different way, but she reached out and actually contacted you. And Brad at Smoke and Fire is going to cater our wedding, which is this the first one, Brad?
No,
not
the first one.
All right.
So you're good. You're in good hands. And congratulations to you and Christy.
Yeah, we got a great location at the shops. Again, now this kind of circles back around. What is that? 9th and Chestnut?
19th.
19th and Chestnut. I always get the address wrong. 19th and Chestnut. we found that space through another thing that Jeff does every year. And you want to talk about Festivus a little bit?
Oh, yeah, Festivus.
One of the big events.
I forgot that that was 2021, probably, right?
Yeah,
that sounds right.
It all kind of blends.
So yeah, Festivus
together a little bit.
Festivus happens every year on December 23rd. It's based on the very popular Seinfeld episode called The Strike, where Kramer picks Frank Costanza, asks him about this Festivus holiday because Frank was tired of the commercialism and the religious aspects of Christmas. He didn't like the shopping thing, didn't like having to go to church, none of that. So he created his own holiday. And instead of a tree, there's a pole, aluminum pole, because he finds tinsel distracting. There's no decoration involved. There's a dinner, I guess, that you have to have a dinner at a holiday thing. And then the feats of strength, which in the show is wrestling, and nobody leaves until Frank gets pinned, basically.
Right.
So it always comes down to George wrestling his father and arguing about it. We developed a kind of a spin on our own Festivus take. We held it at the shop at 19th and Chestnut then. We held it the last 2 years at Basement Transmissions, which, by the way, I think is Erie's only local full-time music venue. If you're in a band and you want to play a local music venue that's not a bar, then that's your only option, I think. There's no more Forward Hall. There's no more things like that anymore.
Right.
Anyway, BT is really good. It's a big stage, a lot of space. We always do it every year with the Cubides, another food truck that we've been working with forever. And we have our own Feats of Strength, which is a Matt Lebowitz hosted trivia game. Matt Lebowitz owns You Frame It, and arguably the city's largest Seinfeld fan. He knows the minutia of every single episode, all the way down to everything. We sell beer. We invite a local distiller to sell some spirits. Cubides is there selling food. We invited Cosmic Rhythm, Erie's kind of spacey-wacy cover band that plays a lot of Grateful Dead. What else do they play? Pink Floyd. They're Cosmic Mike, we call him, the lead singer. Mike Augustini's in our Mug Club and a really good friend of ours. We just have a party. It's always on the 23rd. The 23rd is a great day because people are coming back into town to see their family for the weekend or however the days fall, and they're not quite ready to commit to the full family time yet. So they either want to bring their entire family or get the hell away from them. So it's really nice to have this, and we develop a logo every year now, and it's become this really integral part of the holiday season, and we really enjoy it. But I imagine we'll do it at BT again this coming December 23rd, unless it's booked, which would be silly.
We went last year, and I felt like that was the right space.
Yeah,
it's like, okay, you got it. It. This is the right amount of space and the right amount of people. It was really great this past year.
Yeah.
What do we got? Monday. It'll be a Monday this year. So
whatever. It doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter what day.
I'll take the day off.
Speaking of festivals, I'm going to jump in here because I'm not much into craft beer, but I am into Star Wars. And I see you have May the 4th event coming up. Can you talk a little bit about that? That's got me excited.
Yeah, I have to.
You got it.
Do I still have that on there? Did I?
Or is it not? Is it canceled or is it still going?
we're gonna have a slightly different take on Star Wars Day. I was gifted a Millennium Falcon cockpit cardboard stand-up thing.
Yeah.
So that'll probably make it might be its last appearance. Cardboard doesn't last forever, especially when you're inside of a brewery. We're going to have a dual food truck battle in our back lot between the Cubides and Apocalypse. We call it Total Taco Throwdown. I haven't even developed the marketing for it yet because the eclipse got in the way. That's going to be in the back lot. We'll have Star Wars stuff. The Boba Fett helmet will make an appearance. Like, we'll play Star Wars on the TV the entire day. Star Wars music. And then we'll have a boatload of tacos out back between those two guys. We've been doing that event for a long time. People really like it. It's for this really classy gold-plated plastic trophy.
Who is the reigning champ right now?
I think the Apocalypse has it. I really don't. It doesn't matter.
It doesn't. It doesn't really matter.
The Apocalypse. I love that name.
It's just a good time. We shut off the back parking lot, which we actually borrow from our neighbors for the day, and then we set up 2 food trucks, and then we sell beer in the back parking lot. That's a good time for we have a Mexican lager that we kick off for Cinco de Mayo. That beer's coming back called Calle 12, which means 12th Street in Espanol. That beer's coming in can form and in draft.
Oh, great.
We're really blowing up this time. It's gonna be great.
Great.
And then also
May the 4th is like right next to Cinco de Mayo, so you got May the 4th, and then then I know they say Revenge of the Sith. Some people even keep going with that.
Revenge of the 5th. Yeah,
Revenge of the 5th, or May the 5th.
Yeah, people are going to be tired of us by the time Monday rolls around, I'm pretty sure.
You just keep going. Maybe throw a tent in the back parking lot and just hang out.
Whatever. Whatever needs to happen. And then there's a BT show that night, actually, May 4th. Maybe it's a Star Wars themed show there. I'm not sure.
Maybe. So we
should. I think they want us to. We'll be there at the BT that night.
Oh yeah, cool.
Yeah.
Oh, all right, great. That was what I was going to ask. We talked about the upcoming events with Jeff and the Craft Beer Festival coming up tomorrow. What do you have going on? You mentioned a benefit down in Corey. Anything else, Brad?
The benefit, and then the BT May the 4th, and we're not scheduling a lot of like pop-up events because we're booked with a lot of weddings.
Oh, that's
private
good.
things.
Great.
So we jumped right into that. We got you guys taken care of. So we're booked out for October with weddings all month long, every weekend.
That's fantastic.
So yeah, if you're in the game and looking for a vendor, shoot us a message and we'll see what our availability is. That's
great. So Jeff, you mentioned when we went to the break for the news, telling some stories, telling some jokes. What do you got for us? I don't know if you listened. I took it from the previous host. Brian Slaywin and Jordan Fuller did a great job on this Entrepreneur Radio 814. And somewhere in there, most of the days, there was a dad joke of the day.
Oh, yeah?
And with kids, you have kids, and dad jokes are great. But do you have anything? A couple stories that are funny? Nothing?
Well, yeah.
Tell.
It's not really a joke. It's kind of an interesting situation that I encountered last night. So we host every Thursday, we host a benevolent beers event, we call it, where a local nonprofit can sign up on our website, plug in all your information, and then they basically get free run of the brewery for 3 hours, and it's like a dine to donate model. So any sale that we ring in between 5 and 8 o'clock, we slice a piece of that revenue at the end of the night. We provide a donation to the nonprofit. Kind of like Max and Herbers was doing this for millions of years, right? Last night, it was the Alzheimer's Association, which, by the way, the Walk to End Alzheimer's, everyone should be a part of, because Alzheimer's is a very important thing that we need to kill off, and the money that's raised goes to fund research to cure it. So that's at the end of September. But the last night was the volunteer kickoff night, and one of our everyday customers, his name is Dave Besh. We call him Everyday Dave. He's there every single day we're open, Wednesday through Sunday. We're closed Monday, Tuesday. He said, but I would be there if you guys are open on Monday, Tuesday also. He's like 75. He's a very frequent social club attendee. He's got his route planned every day where he hits us at a certain time. We're in the 5 to 6:30 window.
You could set your watch.
Yeah, for sure. And if he doesn't show up, we get worried that so what happened to Dave? Anyway, Dave's sitting there, and this guy Ryan walks up and wants to cash out. I said, sure, what's the name? He said, Ryan Besh. And Dave whipped his head around and says, what'd you say your last name was? Besh. He's like, Besh? My last name is Besh. So they've never met, same last name, and that's not a common last name in this town. No. But it turns out they have relatives all the way up the chain somewhere, and they know their friends. So they were at this gig. It might also be the size of Erie. Just might even people that you probably knew about but never got to actually meet. They know they have family that goes way back, and they met because of beer. Really, beer brings everyone together.
It sure
right? Does. It's the social lubricant we all need to keep going as a society. Sometimes it gets a little too lubed, and sometimes not enough. So last night, that was a great experience. Then I I have a boy. I should have came armed with a bunch of stories because we're like the pop-up brewery, right? We go to all these events. We do the downtown Erie Downtown Partnership Thursday night music series that they do at Perry Square. I've met some really interesting people at those things. This beer fest coming up on Saturday will be part of that too. I'll get to meet some interesting people. And really, that's what I enjoy most of it is just shake hands. Hi.
Right.
Thanks. When they walk into the tap room, hi, my name's Jeff. Thanks for coming. What are you up to? What are you doing for dinner? Do you need a recommendation? You should go to Jekyll and Hyde's, my favorite downtown bar, whatever. Right. We try to elevate the service and try to provide a better experience. And we've become the city's only food truck brewery. So when you visit us, when you visit the property, you're not just helping one business, you help another business.
Right,
so,
right.
We found that partnering in that aspect is super helpful because they promote the stuff through their channels. We promote the event on our channels, and we really just jive so well. And all the food that we host, barbecue, tacos, authentic Mexican, that's coming. Taqueria Montez is coming back. All these foods, so they jive so well with our beer. So it's this really, we become a de facto restaurant because we don't have a kitchen. We don't have space for a kitchen, nor do we actually want to get into that because that's a whole other ballgame we don't want to mess with. In hindsight, should we have messed with it? Probably. But, look, we shouldn't have. Maybe we should have gone into the gourmet popcorn business because the overhead is like ridiculously low, I think. So it's fun all the way around.
It is. And the common theme here is just the community. And that to me is one of the funnest parts of going to breweries. Christy and I have gone to, like I said, probably hundreds, maybe even approaching 1,000. I don't know where we are in that scheme, but every place we go, and Erie is one community, but every place you go, you sit down, and there will be somebody that you sit down and talk to, much like the Vesh situation that you talked about. And you may meet the nicest people at these breweries and over food trucks and just getting to know people in that community. Yeah, they are the kindest. Christy and I took a drive up to Ellicottville a few years back, and the place was filled. They had like a waiting list of like, I don't know, we were going to be there for 2 hours. Well, we were walking through, and there was an older couple on the outside. They have a nice patio in the back, and we were walking through, and older couple sitting there. They asked us, "You can't get a table," and we don't know. We'll go maybe shop for a bit, come back, check it out. They let us sit with them.
Nice.
They had open space at the table. Yeah. We sat and got to know this older couple. Never talk to them again, but it is that type of community, and that is why I love being part of it. We got the Mug Club down at your place. You have an interesting way of doing the Mug Club. Most breweries kind of pick a day, and you go down, and that's your Mug Club day. Talk a little bit about that. We didn't get to that.
Yeah, sure. Mug Club is at the top level, it's a sales strategy to plug a hole in a low revenue day. So Tuesdays or Wednesdays typically are like our low income days for restaurants. So let's join a Mug Club. The Mug Club is you pay a bunch of money up front, you get access to a VIP status, and then you get to go there for your free, in quotes, free beer that you've kind of already paid for. But if you go enough times, you earn that money back real quick. So Mug Club is a good way to generate this tribe of your best customers. And we really enjoy our Mug Club. Ours is not pinned to one day. It's available any day we're open. It's probably the most expensive in town because of that flexibility. And you don't get a pint glass. You get a coffee mug that you take home. And then we have a really nice party at the end of the season. We go March to March for our season because it's all about pleasing the customer too. If we had a January 1st start date, that means you purchased it in the end of the fourth quarter, which is Christmas time. People are shelling out a bunch of money for gifts. If you're in another Mug Club, you're paying money for that too. So people are just financially drained at the end of December. So why not just make it more accommodating for them? Right, and then we start it up later in the year, the following year.
Great. Well, we're going to get to the dad jokes in a few maybe a few of those. But before we do that, I want to thank both of you for coming on the show today.
Yeah, man.
Give us
No
one more
problem,
plug.
No problem.
One more plug for each place. How can people get a hold of you and maybe get catering or come to your place? Where can they find you?
Brad?
Yeah, Instagram, Facebook, Smoke and Fire Barbecue. All our info will be linked there. You can message us there. You can email me, and that's smokeandfirebarbecuepa@gmail.com. Or you can leave us a message on either page, Facebook or Instagram, Smoke and Fire Barbecue.
For us, Erie Elworks, it's erieelworks.com. It's got our phone number. It's got it's our home base for everything. Just go there. You'll see all of our beers, our calendar events, a little information about Steve and myself, and then some nice video of us doing what we do.
One more added plug. Our friends at WQLN, stop over at the Craft Beer Festival tomorrow over at the Brew Erie at Union Station. Excuse me.
ErieBeerFest.com.
ErieBeerFest.com.
Buy
Thank you,
tickets.
Jeff. I didn't have that ready. You anticipated that, and I appreciate it. So, so we're coming to the end of the show. We don't like to skip over the dad joke of the day. I have one that's kind of right in there for what we had going on.
You did some dad joke homework ahead of time?
Sometimes I put that together as I'm sitting here listening to the guests. I'll find one and I roll with it. But this one seemed to kind of fit what happened recently and where it comes from. So, who should we bounce this off? Let's go with Brad. Hey, Brad.
What's up?
How does Mr. Sun get a haircut?
Solar eclipse.
You're close.
Ooh.
Total eclipse?
Eclipse it.
Oh, boy.
I know something with that eclipse.
Eclipse it.
Yeah.
It's
I
a
found one.
groaner.
You got one?
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
I hate my job. All I do is crush cans all day. It's soda pressing.
That fits with
Soda,
the
get
Erie
it?
Ale Works. Fits with the
Yeah,
Erie
you
Ale
guys did
Works.
good.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, Brad and Jeff, for coming on the show
Yes,
today.
thank you.
Look for us next week. Little more on the entrepreneurial ecosystem with Brad Gleason and Kathy Roach from the Gannon Erie Technology Incubator. So we're doing the ecosystem as opposed to the entrepreneurs themselves. See us next week, Corey Higher Education Council. We'll see you then.